my name is Nathan Rayburn, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about wakeboarding. So, wakeboarding is not very well known about. It's a fairly new sport, as it started in the 1980s, and it's one of the fastest growing sports in recent years according to USA Wakeboarding. And it's extremely fun and a great way to exercise, and I know this because I've been wakeboarding since I was 3 years old. By the end of my speech, you should know what wakeboarding is, the two types of wakeboarding, and the progression the sport has made. First, what is wakeboarding? Wakeboarding is a water sport with origins in both water skiing, surfing, and snowboarding, according to Mpora. Utilizes a board that is about as long as the rider is tall and about 1.5 feet wide, and has bindings to hold the rider's feet in place. Began to form in the 1980s when surfers would get towed behind a boat with a ski rope using their surfboards, so no bindings. Now that we've talked about what wakeboarding is, let's talk about the two types of wakeboarding. The first type is boat. It is the original type of wakeboard, or the original way to wakeboard. Like I said, it's being pulled behind a boat with a ski rope. And the rider normally uses the wake of the boat. You ever been on a boat? The wake, you use that, and that's where you do the tricks in the air. Opposed to cable, which are cable parks such as this one, if you guys can see it, a cable pulls multiple riders in this ring, and they do their tricks off of kickers and sliders. Kickers are more of like a ramp, sliders, you slide across them. And now that we talked about the two types, let's talk about the progression of wakeboarding. First, a San Diego surfer, Tony Finn, was the first to make the push into the sport. He developed the Scurfer, which has many similarities to today's wakeskate, which is a smaller wakeboard with no bindings. And at the same time, a surfer in Florida was surfing his smaller surfboards behind boats, adding foot straps and pads on the board, according to Mpora. And a lot of stuff I had to quote a lot of people because it's very controversial. Nobody knows exactly how it started, since it was just a thing people did for fun. So, unknowingly, they were contributing to two different key components of a wakeboard, obviously the bindings and then the shape of the board. But it took the design expertise of Herb O'Brien, owner of HO Sports, a leading water ski manufacturer, to actually put it into play. He introduced the first compression molded neutral buoyancy wakeboard, which is called the Hyperlite. The Hyperlite's natural buoyancy allowed for easy deep water starts, which in turn made wakeboarding accessible to virtually anybody, and not just the surfers that were used to riding on water. It's been in X Games sports since about 1996, which is the second X Games, which is awesome because that still hasn't made it into the like I say here, the Olympics, because it was considered for the 2020 Olympics, and everybody was excited. Especially, well, my cousin's a professional wakeboarder, so we were all excited. We were all trying to hope that it would work, and it didn't. But luckily, they've been talking about it more and more, and they're thinking about it for the next upcoming Olympics. And also, back to the X Games, it started out as just being boat when it first started, because that was the only way to do it. But now it's got things such as Real Wake, which is a film contest, and normally you use a winch, which is kind of like a sub-form cable, and it pulls one rider one time across a body of water. And it helps with like urban environments, so like you can use infrastructure such as small bridges and different things that are like on the sides of rivers to do something super unique, and it's really awesome. And in conclusion, wakeboarding is an incredible sport. It's always different. It's continually evolving and improving, and that is because it's only limited by the rider's physical and imaginative capabilities. And these are my references.